When people hear comic book, they think superheroes, capes, masks, spandex. But comic books were never just superheroes. For decades, comic book movie became shorthand for spectacle, franchises, shared universes, blockbuster events. The marketing stuck. The label narrowed. From the beginning, comics told crime, horror, romance, satire, war, science fiction, a storytelling medium as broad as film or literature itself. The same holds true on screen. Some of the most acclaimed and well-loved films and television series didn't begin as screenplays. They began as comics. In 1968, Jane Fonda starred in a psychedelic science fiction film filled with alien worlds and surreal imagery. It wasn't a superhero movie. It was based on a French comic. Barbarella became one of the most popular releases in the United Kingdom that year, and later earned cult status. Long before the modern superhero era, comics were already shaping cinema beyond capes. The pattern continued. Conan the Barbarian brought sword and sorcery fantasy to theaters, shaped by its comic revival. Red Sonja followed. No secret identities, just fantasy worlds that lived in panels before reaching the screen. By the 1990s, the range widened. The Crow delivered gothic revenge. Time Cop offered science fiction action. Men in Black became a global blockbuster about aliens and government secrecy. Adapted from a small, independent comic few moviegoers had ever heard of. These weren't framed as comic book movies. They were simply movies. Then the early 2000s shifted the perception again. Ghost World told an offbeat coming-of-age story. Road to Perdition delivered a somber gangster drama. American Splendor brought autobiographical comics to indie cinema. Oldboy became an international thriller landmark. A History of Violence earned Academy Award nominations. None wore capes. All began in panels. When a story looked like a superhero film, we called it a comic book movie. When it looked like prestige drama or crime thriller, we dropped the label, even when the source was the same medium. The expansion continued. 300. Translated graphic novel stylization directly to the screen. 30 Days of Night brought horror from page to film. Television proved the point just as clearly. The Walking Dead became one of the most watched dramas of its era. Not about superheroes, but survival. iZombie blended crime procedural with the supernatural. Sweet Tooth turned a comic about hybrid children in a collapsing world into emotional fantasy. Heartstopper brought a quiet, romantic, coming-of-age story to global audiences. No apocalyptic stakes, no costumed heroes. Streaming expanded the range even further. The Old Guard delivered grounded action drama about immortality and war, adapted from an independent comic. Different genres, different tones, different audiences. The common thread wasn't superheroes, it was comics. When people hear manga, they understand it can be anything. Science fiction, romance, horror, slice of life. Comic books are no different. They never were. The only difference is what we chose to notice. For decades, American comics were defined publicly by superheroes because those were the loudest adaptations. But beyond that spotlight, the medium kept telling every kind of story imaginable. The next time someone says comic book movie, ask what they mean. Chances are, they've already seen more than they realize.